Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second episode of Excessive Pop Culture Discussion. And yeah, it looks like we're keeping that title. This is the unscripted show that will tell you about all the most important things happening in pop culture in a given week that have nothing to do with the president or politics. It's every week it'll be me and a rotating cast of people.
And
this
could not
week,
find more friends.
I am out of friends. I am joined once again by Maggie Mae Fish and Soren Bowie. And thanks again for joining me. I promise this won't be a weekly thing.
This was fun. We got to play some pretend video games.
It was all blue. I couldn't see anything on the screen.
Read some of your blue books.
Yeah. Oh, good. So we got a lot of good car value in there. Today we're going to be talking about The Mummy and the Dark Universe and that tedious Gong Show remake and the Snowpiercer TV show and a lot of other things. But first, let's get into This Week in Pop Culture. I want to talk about tentacle porn this week.
Oh, I know a lot about it.
Oh, good. Kurt Eichenwald,
I'll leave that.
who is a pundit and a writer for Newsweek, Vanity Fair, MSNBC, sent out a tweet of a picture of a magazine he was holding, and his computer was visible in the background. He had some intention with this picture that he wanted to send someone, and there was like, it seemed like an anti-Semitic thing. It seemed very important, but it just doesn't matter anymore. Because people quickly noticed that if you zoom in on his computer, you can see that one of his open tabs was a Google search for B-Chiku, B-Chiku or Chiku. It's hardcore hentai, no reason to Google it. And he tweeted that and everyone saw it, and they were like, fuck your magazine, you're looking at tentacle porn. And he tweeted like a 5-tweet response explaining himself, and I'm going to read it in full here because I love it. Sigh. Okay, I'm a dumbass. Believe it or not, my kids and I were trying to convince my wife that tentacle porn existed. I tried to find some to show her it was real, but I couldn't find any and ended up with this. My family reads my Twitter feed, so they know it's true. While hentai, until now I thought it was called manga, was on screen as part of a search to prove to my wife tentacle porn exists, what difference would it make? Seriously, while I don't see the appeal of cartoon porn is a multi-billion-dollar industry. People obviously look at it.
Wow!
There's so much to unpack with this. To begin with, believe him. I think this is like a full-blown old man mistake because like he's sighing and he's not. There was no hint of a cover-up or like, oh, one of my kids did. He was just like, yeah, this is a totally. I promise you, this is a normal, excusable thing that could have happened to anyone. Here's why. My family reads my Twitter, so you know it's true. And I liked that so much. I also liked it because there's a purity to it just being a stupid, embarrassing moment for someone. And you don't need to have a side or an opinion on it.
Yeah.
I can just enjoy it. Like there's always, anytime something goes viral on the internet, I have the fear now that another shoe is going to drop. And I'm going to find out why something is bad. Like when Ken Bone came out and America fell in love with its new sweetheart, this silly, doofy, guess who character-looking motherfucker. He comes out and everyone's like, I love Ken Bone. He's so pure, and his name is Ken Bone. And then within 4 hours, it's like, oh, he's into weird shit on the internet. You can't like Ken Bone
He's been in
anymore.
these terrible forums.
And so there's actually a term for this now. Pixelated Boat tweeted, this is back in June, the whole internet loves Milkshake Duck, a lovely duck that drinks milkshakes. 5 seconds later, we regret to inform you the duck is racist. And so now Milkshake Duck is the catch-all for something that we love that instantly the other shoe drops and it's bad.
Right. Well, I feel like everyone is bad in some way.
Yeah.
So if you look at anyone close enough, they're going to have tentacle porn, like on their computer.
Certainly.
Or something of the sort.
And in this case, the tentacle porn was the good part. This was the joy for me. And as soon as I was reading up on it, I turned to Soren and Long Tom Ryman, who's another employee here. I was like, he's just dumb and embarrassing, right? I'm never going to find out that, like, oh, he stole the tentacle porn from a deaf kid. No, it's just, I will always have this thing.
Right. He's not looking, that site isn't specifically like child tentacle porn, which it very well could have been. And then you'd be like, I just want to enjoy this one stupid moment.
Right. Can't he just be a silly man that I laugh at for 24 hours?
There are a lot of red flags in his apology or in his walk back of looking at tentacle porn that make me, because I want to believe also that this was all in this. If this is as honest a mistake as he's suggesting, which doesn't make a better story by any means.
No.
It's almost worse that he and his kids were looking up tentacle porn together.
Right, they did it as a family. Like,
guys, kids.
yeah. My kids and I were talking about tentacle porn, and their mom was like, "That's not a thing," and we're like, "We'll show you."
Oh, we can't find any. Let me just check this deep, deep website.
Right. That's the other thing. This is a f***ing novel. It's just so deep. Tried to find some to show her it was real, but I couldn't find any. So right off the bat, he didn't Google tentacle porn.
Right.
Because,
There
that's where it is. You can find it very easily.
It's the first thing that would come up.
Yeah.
And
Also,
when you type in tentacle, it'll autocorrect to porn. There's
the fact that he's putting out there that like smokescreen of I don't even know what anime is.
Yeah.
I thought this tentacle porn was called manga for a long
yeah,
time.
and it's like, well, you know what manga is. You know what hentai
No, you
is.
didn't, Kurt.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, like you don't pretend like you don't know the glossary of terms around Japanese anime that also dabbles in pornography.
He also seems like he's trying to test the waters a little bit to see if he can be out about liking tentacle porn. Because
just
the very end of that
look,
apology.
I wasn't doing this. This is a totally innocent mistake. That said, it would be pretty brave of me if I was. I think we can all agree.
Lots of people look at pornography.
A lot of money in that industry. So
Right?
That's the weird thing to me is that he then goes on to defend porn, which is like, great, defend it all day long. Everybody wants to.
Right, then why are you defending yourself in the first place? If porn is in itself defensible, which, sure.
Yeah.
Does
that's
it belong
fine.
in this tweet rant?
There's no wrong, yeah.
Where's that go?
The fact that he then feels he has to walk it back at all is
Yeah.
very silly. Yeah.
And that's just pure silly, pure joy. I'm so happy it happened.
There's something about his walk back also that triggers in me this bully, of like this childhood bully, where he's so defensive about it that I know that that's an immediate crack in his facade, and I'm like, oh, that's where I have to attack. It's like reminiscent of being a kid and having some child in your class who's like, my mom made me wear this dressage charm. Like, she's the one who's into dressage, and you're like, oh, you fucking like dressage? I'm gonna destroy you.
Were you a bully?
I mean,
Soren!
we all were, right? We all pushed kids in ditches.
Oh boy, that's Karate Kid level bullying.
You kind of do look like an 80s.
You know what we called it? Ditching.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what they were shouting. I remember now. It was hard to hear from so low down,
That's it.
but it makes sense.
Funny, guys.
May, what do you have for us this week?
Right, so I wanted to talk about, I didn't know this was a thing until yesterday. I was looking it up, reading all about it. They're making Snowpiercer, the indie darling that did so well, it did fine in the box office, into an FX TV show.
Yeah.
For like series and series. And they have a bunch of people signed on for it. They got Blvd. He signed on.
From Hamilton and Clipping.
Yeah.
Everyone should check out Clipping.
Hamilton.
I mean, yeah, Hamilton, yeah. Everybody knows Hamilton. Check out Clipping. Clipping's great.
I have a question. In the chronology of Snowpiercer, when does this take place?
That's a great question. I think they said it took place, I don't know if this was the film or them, but it's like 7 years after the initial...
After?
I think so.
Well, let's talk
correct
about
me if I'm
Bold
wrong.
move.
Snowpiercer, the movie, there's been some kind of apocalypse, and now everyone lives on this giant, constantly moving train
Right.
that pierces the snow, I suppose you'd say. And the trains are separated into, is it directly like poor and increasingly wealthy, or is it like poor and then
Right.
like, here are the monsters?
Well, so at first it's poor, and then it's the train car where they make all the beetles into gel. And then after that, it's like, it does get to more and more decadent, like bacchanal, as you go up, but it doesn't necessarily mean richer and richer.
Yeah.
Like there's just sort of everyone above, there is sort of just this kind of crossover, because they go through like a school for kids and stuff like that.
Oh,
and they go
yeah.
through a sushi restaurant, and there's a lot of cool stuff along the way.
Yeah.
And there's
They
like,
gave a whole compartment to a sushi restaurant?
well, it's an aquarium. It's an aquarium where you can just pick whatever you want and eat it.
Yeah. It's a weird movie. It's really, I enjoyed it a whole lot. It's Chris Evans just like marching through this train, and you get to just see like, it's clearly a writer-director who's like, let me build a world that's like this. Like,
Right.
and like here they have axes for
Mm-hmm.
hands, little like metal helmets, and here it's school. I'm out of ideas.
It's not even Chris Evans moving through a train. It's Chris Evans moving through like a bunch of different movies. Like
Yeah.
each train car seems to be like its own genre. It's really strange.
Yeah.
Well, to me, that's a weird thing about choosing to make it into a TV show because it was such like it was a whole story arc.
Yeah.
Like there was a clear goal, there was clearly accomplished. Like I don't know what they're gonna pull from it besides like, wasn't that a cool movie that everybody saw? Let's make it into a TV show for like a season.
Right, we're going to get into spoiler territory. I mean, this movie is bonkers. Chris Evans gets to the end of the train. Ed Harris is in there. He's in there alone in the car. And the train is powered by children. He has to kidnap a child and put it in the engine of the train. And the tiny hands are good at working the buttons.
It's not
and the
clear.
kid grows up. Kid grows up
kid.
and dies or like loses hands. And Chris Evans and Ed Harris is like, beautiful, isn't it? And Chris Evans is like, no. And then they end the train. Like the world stops, and then the movie's over. And now they're making a TV show.
Right. The last part is everybody's dead except for this woman in maybe her late 20s, early 30s, and a child. And those are the only two people that are left. And there's a looming polar bear near them.
Yeah.
And that's like, okay,
And like
I'm sure you'll be fine out there.
One of the execs at FX was like, there's a lot that we like want to explore about this world and stuff. And I was like, what? What is left? What is there left to explore?
Right.
Besides Alaska. I assume they're in Alaska. I don't know.
That's what it looks like. I mean, yeah, because everything's become a snowy wasteland.
Right. Yeah.
That it's either the movie is either a bunch of people just living in a snowy wasteland. It's like Alive, the movie, or else they're going to go back in time to just people in the train.
Right.
And then we've already seen all the ports of the train.
Yeah.
That's not a big world we're exploring.
Well, I think one of the reasons that I definitely wanted you to talk about this is one of the complaints that we got in the last episode is that we all agreed with each other on absolutely every single point. And as soon as you pitched this, you were like, hey, Snowpiercer, they're making that a TV show, but should they? Wasn't the movie just kind of okay? And
I
I'm
was like, yes. They should.
very excited about making this TV show, just because I think if you just take the spirit of that movie, which is everything's fucked and there are a bunch of different worlds now, I think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to do sort of like a Star Trek vibe with it, where you've got our main character who's just going into different like shows, different movies essentially, and now it's like, oh yeah, this is the snow part of the planet, this is the mafia part of the planet, this is the tree monsters or whatever.
I guess to me that just like, it's like thin on story, like thick on like cool things to do, like cool visuals, great casting. The guy who's directing it, he did, what did he do? He hasn't done a ton of stuff, but the stuff he's done is like pretty good. I can't remember what it was. Josh Freedom is his name. But yeah, story, what is it going to be? I don't know, get to the end of the train again.
Yeah, it could be those people that tried to leave the train
Yeah.
a long time ago that got out like 20 paces from the train, and every once in a while the train goes past them and you just see their frozen bodies.
Oh,
up
they're
on
dead.
the
Yeah. Could be them.
It could be them. It could, maybe I'll get some answers as far as like why that guy, the bad guys show up with the machetes. One of them cuts open a bass and then is like, "That's what I'm going to do to you," presumably. Like I don't know why he does it. He just like cuts a sturgeon with his knife and then is like, "See that?" And we're all supposed to be like, "Yeah, I get it."
Yeah.
Yes.
Look how sharp it is. Yeah, like fish sharp, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that good for bone?
I don't know what tensile, like what I'm compared to a fish, but sure, I'm sure that would cut me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I will grant that my story pitch guy walks around and looks at different things. You're right, probably kind of thin. But I'm just brainstorming now, and I'm trying to get a job on that show. But yeah, that's the Snowpiercer show. Soren,
Yeah.
you have something else that's pretty tedious and unnecessary for us, don't you?
Yeah, I've got a new show coming up. No. So they're remaking The Gong Show.
Finally.
Yeah. And it's so weird. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the old Gong Show.
I have not.
In
This
preparation
is so
for
far
this,
back.
I watched some of the old Gong Show, and I just need to like color the palette for you first. The original Gong Show is crazy.
Okay.
The original Gong Show
Did you
was
just eat the color palette?
Yeah. To taste it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Soren, go ahead. I'm all ready.
So
Another totally normal thing for men.
it was like a talent show basically, where people with dubious or good talents would come on the show, and it was all kind of bananas because they would offer, like, the prize money was some weird sum of like $714.37 if you won.
That's like the amount of gas it would take to get to like Burbank to film it.
And then and they'd have celebrity guests on who could come. They'd hit a gong if things were not going if they were like going poorly. It's like Showtime at the Apollo, but instead of a boo, everybody hits a gong.
Okay.
The celebrity judges hit a gong. If they liked it, they stick through the entire performance of whatever this person's doing. Then they get rated on 1 to 10, and the winners get that weird sum of money. And then the losers, throughout the week, they pick one show that was the absolute worst, and they got like $514.37, $516.32, and they get a dirty tube sock. And none of this is ever explained. When one person would win, it was customary that the host, Chuck Barris, who also created the show, would say that they won, and then a midget would come out on stage throwing confetti. And it was just like, there was no cohesion to it at all, and it was very strange. They can't do that
in the new one.
No, they can't. So they're recreating this show. ABC's doing it now. It was originally NBC. And the host of it is a guy named Tommy Maitland. And I just want to tell you a few things about Tommy Maitland. He was born July 7th, 1944, in a borough of Brent. He joined the British Army at 15. His father was an actuary, and his mom was in the RAF. He was on a couple of different shows. One of them was The Lord Mayor. The other one was Who's He What's. And he had a brief role on Carry On, that film franchise that we all know. If you don't remember any of this, that's fine, because it's all completely made up and doesn't need to be there at all. It's all a completely fictitious backstory. Because
that's good for me, because I trade in having a good memory for pop culture. And I'm just sitting here, and I just scream in my head, like, stupid, stupid, stupid.
And because it's Mike Myers. Mike Myers is the host, but everyone is for some reason pretending that it's not Mike Myers.
Okay.
On any of the promotional material for this show, he is not mentioned at all. It's all, they're just creating this world of this guy named Tommy Maitland for reasons I cannot fathom. I'm trying to be in on the joke, and I just don't get it, because you could easily have Mike Myers just host this show, and it would be fine. If you were going to bring back a show like The Pyramid or Family Feud, you can do that. They've already proven that you can do that. You just put a host that's a celebrity in there, and it will do well. But now they've made up this fictitious British celebrity who's like past his prime and come out of retirement to do this. And it's Mike Myers in enough makeup that he can't move properly. He looks like Batman in his cowl. Like he can't turn his head all the way or make any sort of facial expressions. And it's bizarre. And ABC, I think, is hoping that no one notices so that they can at some point blow everybody's minds that this is Mike Myers.
And the thing of it is, the second it was announced, everyone on the internet was like, this is Mike Myers.
Yeah, that's Mike Myers.
It's absolutely Mike Myers.
And so ABC,
no, it's not. ABC, tune in for The Bachelorette.
So ABC has done a bunch of articles about it on their site, abc.go or whatever it is, and it's all like, yeah, we've got this great host, and they tell you his whole Wikipedia story, basically. And then he's done interviews with the Hollywood Reporter and stuff. Doesn't do them as Mike Myers. Does them over the phone as Tommy Maitland. I don't know what the joke is anymore, because the whole backstory is designed to only be feasible. It's exactly boring enough that someone would believe it. So there's no joke there.
Right.
There's only the perception, we're only building this character for some undiscernible reason that everybody knows it's not a real person.
Right. It's just Mike Myers wants you to see the work that he put into this. And he was like, isn't Carry On a believable franchise for a British comedian? Yeah, you really had me going there. I really thought a movie called Carry On might have existed at some point.
Yeah, the Carry On
I can't wait to watch your show.
They call it the Carry On movies. So the Carry On films. So there's just no good reason for it. But it made me start to realize that this has been Mike Myers' entire career. That he is, for a long time, he staked his claim on finding really niche things finding really niche things.
Pick one, it doesn't matter.
It's a niche, actually.
Yeah, he found these niche things that he built his career around, like Wayne's World was deep access cable, and Simon, that old SNL sketch where he's in the bathtub and he's a little kid.
Oh, yeah.
Who does drawings.
Yeah.
That's based on these old BBC shows that were just terrible time fillers for kids. And in fact, at the beginning of each one of those, they do this little promo for BBC, and then it says, the commentator says, I hope you enjoyed Who's a Cheeky Chappy, and now, boys and girls, it's time to visit our little friend Simon. And Simon often says, are you looking at my bum? You're a cheeky monkey, and that kind of thing. There's catchphrases in this new Gong Show that are from Simon.
What?
Yeah, so he's got catchphrases. One of them is, we're just here for the funsies. I think that's how he signs off every show. Another one is, who's a cheeky monkey? And then the audience goes, you are. And he goes, no, you're a cheeky monkey, and that's why I love you. I mean, not with the same severity and
That's a good lord.
And I'll always love you, even if your mother and I can't work this out.
You're a cheeky monkey. And then his other catchphrase is, you've got no proof. I'm having a hard time seeing how it gets woven in.
It's so I saw the clip. It's so infuriating that the audience has to play along. Like it's not like it's not like the guy Alanis Morissette blew in that movie theater. Dave Coulier. It's not like he is hosting a show right now and he does, hey everyone, have a good time. Remember, cut, and they answer it out.
Yeah.
That's a catchphrase that we are all familiar with and we've all agreed upon. They need to add this pretense where the warm-up comic comes out and is like, you're very familiar with this guy, so you're excited when you see him, and let me teach you his famous catchphrase right now, so you know what to say.
This is what's crazy.
You can't just enjoy this stupid fucking talent show.
They have to give the entire audience the backstory of who this guy is, because that catchphrase, you've got no proof, is based on a fictitious story that he had previously done.
What?
Where a show and a biography that he had written called You've Got No Proof, and then a second biography called You Still Don't Have Any Proof. And it's dependent on you knowing that exists for that joke to make any sense.
That's too much homework for America's Got Talent, but
they've gone very deep.
That's the thing. That's the Gong Show had a good idea. Talent show that is a mix of talent and Parade of Freaks.
Yeah.
They made a mistake by putting too many hats on too many hats, and let's also have a little person throw confetti, and let's also make the prize money insignificant and specific, and let's also throw in tube socks. America's Got Talent was like, we're going to take the good part of this,
right?
And you can keep the gong and the bull.
Yeah.
And now the new Gong Show is like,
let's take the gong and the bull.
What happened to the weird, unnecessary stuff?
Okay, great. I can make a show out of this.
Well, that's we got a bunch of things coming up in pop culture that are going to be pretty bad.
Yeah. That premieres June 22nd, by the way. 22nd? I can't wait.
Let's have a party.
Let's have a party. All right, that was this week in pop culture headlines. Let's get into the main story. The Mummy is out the weekend that we're filming this. The Mummy movie, the non-Brendan Fraser rock Mummy movie with Tom Cruise, that is aiming to kickstart the new dark universe interconnected world. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, an interconnected world is something like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where you get a bunch of standalone superhero movies, and then they all come together in the Avengers, and then they're just in each other's movies forever. DC is doing that, and now the Dark Universe aims to do that with monsters, which is, they're claiming it's a return to original monster franchises, which started this idea because it was all the same actors who were contracted to be monsters and werewolves and Frankensteins. You're not going back to pure roots. You're doing this because Marvel did it, and they're successful at it.
Yeah, that was because of the studio system, and they would just hire actors to be in their house.
Yeah.
Because
so they're starting with Mummy. They have a new logo that will air before the Mummy movie, and some score by Danny Elfman. So they're really going for it right now. There's a Dark Universe logo that comes out, and I stress that because years ago they shadow flirted with the idea of doing this when they were making the Benicio del Toro Wolfman movie and Dracula Untold. They made Dracula Untold thinking this could be a standalone Dracula movie, or it could be like a trilogy, or it could be part of our cinematic universe. And that movie came out and it was dog shit. So they were like, we also, there was a fourth option and it's bad. And we knew that was possible.
Do that one.
That's what I'm saying. This could be a relationship, or we could add some other people into the mix. Oh, you don't want any of it? I'm bad. Okay,
I'm gonna move.
Actually.
But now they have a logo and score, and they've got actors attached to most of these movies. There's not a lot of room to turn back now. They've got Javier Bardem is going to be in the Frankenstein franchise. That potato-faced Russell Crowe is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. They want Angelina Jolie for Bride of Frankenstein, which a movie already has a release date. But not an actress. And,
that's insignificant. It doesn't matter who the actress is.
Johnny Depp is the Invisible Man, and they're flirting with the idea of Quasimodo, who wasn't a monster. Just a sad.
Yeah, but he looks weird. I get it.
And the Phantom of the Opera. So we would get movies for all of those monsters, plus probably more, and then some kind of team-up thing. And
That's very rude to call Quasimodo a monster.
Yes. It's also rude to us as audiences to make us see these things. I have a lot of things I want to throw at you guys.
Well, I'm already pissed off.
Good, good. Stay pissed. One thing in a general, like, I'm exhausted all the time level is, why does everything have to be an extended universe? Marvel did it well and it made sense because it was comics and they're pulling from this whole world where superheroes have been hanging out together for decades and decades and decades. And that isn't necessarily a formula that needs to be or can be repeated by everyone. 2, Iron Man's a superhero. Superman, Captain America's a superhero. Hulk is a superhero. Yeah. Then there's a big threat. They all team up and they fight the thing. I guess the Mummy has to win in this Mummy movie. It has to kill Tom Cruise so it can team up with the other monsters. Like, every movie has to be like, oh, we kind of like Dracula by the end, and we kind of like Frankenstein's monster, I guess. And
right, we have to
I kind of like Quasimodo.
I didn't realize that he wouldn't be the star in this
They're the bad
universe.
guys.
He's the bad guy.
Unless Sophia makes him the Mummy, unless like she passes the Mummy curse on to him. You know how curses don't work. And then he becomes the Mummy in the future. Otherwise, it's got to be a bunch of heroes losing to monsters so the monsters can survive and join up.
Right.
Or the big team up movie is like, hey, I'm Tom Cruise, I beat the Mummy. Like, oh, cool, I'm Patrick, I slayed the Frankenstein monster.
It's not even like...
Let's hang out now.
It's not even like Alien and Predator, which is a combination universe, where there's enough aliens and enough predators that you can kill a few of them along the way and have some victories for the humans.
Yeah.
Like there's one Dracula, there's one Frankenstein. You can't have the hero win those movies and still have that character stick around.
Right. So either the hero has to lose every one of these movies, or they have to do what they tried to do with Dracula Untold, which is make you kind of like him and understand him by the end of it.
Yeah, but then they're not...
then what's the conflict?
Yeah.
Right.
And also, well, from like a studio perspective, it makes sense to make it into a universe, because it's like, well, if you see the Mummy, then you're going to feel obligated to see the next, and they can just keep going and going and going. But from like a story perspective, it makes absolutely sense.
Yeah. And there's a lot of assumptions there, because you're saying if you see the Mummy movie, you'll feel obligated. Well, there's two things that might not be true there. I might not see the movie, and I might be under no obligation to.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, even if they say, stay tuned for after the credits, and we're going to show you something from Frankenstein, I'm like, I'm actually fine.
Don't have to pee, but I could, I guess. I'm going to go.
I'm also pissed off because they've already done a combination movie that's perfect with all these monsters, and it's called Monster Squad.
I knew we were going to get here. I'm so excited. I had it written down, and I'm glad I didn't have to say it.
Monster Squad is awesome. It's a movie from the 80s where there are these young kids who have started a gang of monster detectives, basically, and then they encounter actual monsters. And this amulet is the MacGuffin of the whole thing. And the Swamp Thing is there, Frankenstein is there, Mummy, Dracula, Wolfman, and it's wonderful. And like the way that the kids are handling these monsters, these are the monsters from the old films. So they're like quintessentially kind of campy and
it's
weird.
kind of fun. Is it in the universe where like they've seen the movie, so they like kind of know what to do?
Yes,
cool.
they know everything. Yes,
It's written by Shane Black, who did Last Action Hero, Kiss Kiss
okay.
Bang Bang, Iron Man.
So
3.
you watch them trying to figure out what they're supposed to do to like beat each one of them. They know they're supposed to make stakes for these vampires and stuff, but like then they're fighting the Wolfman and they're like, kick him in the nards. He's like, do Wolfmen have nards? And like trying to like have this debate on the anatomy of a Wolfman in the middle of a fight, and it's really cute and adorable. It's like a Goonies but with monsters, and it's wonderful.
Well, point counterpoint, there's also a like teen girl show called Monster High, where all the monsters are like female versions of these. So there's like a wolf girl and whatever, and it's just like a great story about friends coming together and working on problems.
And they happen to be monsters?
Yeah, the teenage monsters. And they're like, oh, what's in style? I don't know. Anyways, let's talk about friendship. It's great.
So I guess the shared universe can work, but I'm not optimistic about it.
Not as a horror movies. Like,
No,
you
no.
can't have each one of them be a horror movie and then be like, and now we're going to do one big horror movie with all of them.
Right, and there's, like, as a...
They don't even have joint goals.
No.
There's nothing that they all want together.
And
what?
one of the stepping stones that I know I need to jump on to get to this shared universe final boss movie is a Johnny Depp Invisible Man movie that there's no way it's not f***ing tedious. There's absolutely no way that we're not seeing like a hat and a monocle and a scarf and then like no body and it's just like floating around like something Johnny Depp would say.
he's picked whatever. He's picked like Bono or like whatever musical star he thinks this character is going to be. He's going to interpret for this. And he's like, I'm going to be the Edge for this. And, like, and then it's just him prancing around like the Edge. Yeah.
Not to be confused with the Dark Universe, the universe about monsters. They're doing a universe called Monster Universe, which is the Godzilla that we already saw, and the Kong from Skull Island that we already saw, and I guess some other big monsters, and they're hanging out and they're friends.
When you say other big monsters, could you elaborate on what other big monsters there are? Cloverfield?
I mean, no, he's not part of this, because J.J. Abrams has already made like a separate all-encompassing Cloverfield universe, and that's going to keep going
now
forever.
It needs to stop. Now it's too much.
Nope, it'll never be too much.
I've got Godzilla and King Kong. Those feel like, those are easy for me to
But even then, I'm like, no. I love Godzilla, and I love, like, Godzilla lore, and, like, but King Kong I've never gotten into. I don't want to see him in the same movie.
What happened was, Godzilla in the current Godzilla canon, the one with Bryan Cranston and Aaron Taylor Johnson, he shows up in response to a threat. Like, we accidentally awaken this moth monster, Mothra probably, and Godzilla shows up, kills the shit out of it, and then looks at Aaron Taylor Johnson and is like, and then like goes away. Like he does the respect head nod and he goes away, and Aaron Taylor Johnson's like, we're not so different, you and I. And in Kong Skull Island, the big King Kong murders the scary monsters who are there. He also protects the people, and then like goes and does his what's up head nod to John C. Reilly, and they're both heroes now. So the interconnected monster movie needs to be them somehow
working together,
hanging out to fight a larger monster that we haven't heard of.
Right, and it's not just them. Like that's the thing is it has to be them, and then like a third monster, Twister from Twister, all like hanging out together.
Oh no, it's the outbreak monkey.
It's the perfect storm is also there, and like now you have to have natural disasters because I can't think of any other sentient giant monsters that you can use.
Yeah,
for this.
I do want to correct you because I know the commenters are going to jump on this. Twister was actually the doctor's name.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
I do it every time.
Right, Twister's chasing him across the ice at the end.
So we've got all these. This is a game that I wanted to try out.
What was that?
It was just sad.
I mean, that's a rough approximation of what a normal person sounds like when they're sad, I guess. It's going to seem like a counterintuitive game because we just spent all the time talking about why shared universes shouldn't exist. But I wanted to bring this to you guys to see if there are what movies that currently exist do you wish were in the same universe because they make them better or would lead to something interesting. Obviously, I prepared these questions, so I have answers. So I can go first while you guys think.
Why don't you go first, Dan?
I'm going to go first.
Hey, you're doing a great job also, by the way.
Oh, thanks very much. I want to combine most apocalypse movies. Like, I want Mad Max Fury Road and Demolition Man to take place in the same universe because I'm very excited about the idea of Mad Max escaping from there and then like stumbling on this thriving utopic metropolis where they're just like, oh no, we don't have any gasoline for you. All of our cars are electric and like we don't swear here, so I hope that's okay. And he's like, that's fine.
Yeah.
They're like, they were drinking my blood in the other place, and you guys have Taco Bells here. Just the idea that if you walk long enough, you will intersect with every different apocalypse because the world ended and global communication completely shut down. So some places are zombies, some places are Demolition Man, some places are Mad Max.
That's great, and it makes total sense because geographically you can't travel around. It's like being sent back to the Stone Age, where you live within a 30-mile radius, and that's it, if that.
Right, and there are some places where it's like, oh, we have electric guitars that shoot fire, and then they get to China and it's like, no, it took about a week where we panicked, and then we mostly recovered. It's mostly still China.
Still China.
It's like basically modern China.
Like, what's that movie? Oh, Idiocracy.
Idiocracy.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, we have everything. Just,
right.
I mean, there's a label.
There's a Children of Men scenario happening somewhere.
Yeah.
Where they're all out of
babies.
panic.
Right.
Where are the babies?
Right.
So as you travel from city to city, eventually you have a list of things where you get there and you're like, okay, just let me ask you some questions. Do you use seashells when you because I don't want to be here if that's okay. You don't. Yeah. That's great. Okay,
I don't want to offend anyone
because they do. I don't. Yeah. All right, I don't want them.
That's like Children of Men when Mad Max and Clive Owen meet. It's like, oh, we can't we can't make children anymore. Oh, that is not our problem. Ours is it's just this one guy who's making all of them. That's the main thing.
He makes all of them, and they're all pasty white powders, and
they're just getting worse.
They're just getting worse.
That's good. I think that if I was to make one, it wouldn't have nearly the same high stakes. But if I could combine all the kids' sports movies where they get into the big leagues,
is that because you're a bully?
I'm sure.
I believe this so solidly.
I guess maybe just every sports movie there is, especially the baseball ones. If I could combine all the baseball universes so that Major League takes place in the same universe as Little Big League, as Rookie of the Year, as Angels in the Outfield, because suddenly baseball's very interesting. Like, the only way that you ever win in these games is through these really crazy tactics. Either you have spirits that are playing on your team with you, or you all of your moves are like, it's only the hidden ball trick. Like, you only win by shenanigans. And if that's what happens every single year, and getting to the pennant is just this arduous slog where you got to play like a team with a dog now, and like you got to play against this other team,
and like you're the Yankees or the Cubs or some other dominant sports team, and you're just like, I don't get it. We show up and we practice and we picked a good team and we follow the fundamentals, and we're losing to this dog and everyone hates us.
Right?
What did we do?
You have to. One of the teams has a kid on it that can pitch 150 miles an hour. You're like, well, we're going to play a full series against this kid, so he can't pitch every single game. Those will be the games that we win. They're trying to moneyball the situation with with against actual angels that are catching fly balls and stuff. It's like, how do you win? How do you win against them?
That would be such a riveting season of baseball.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going to... I hear Florida drafted a monster, an actual monster this year.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. Yeah, one team is just trying to stay pure and like trying to not be a group of misfits.
Yeah.
People would die. They would just die.
We have a really good team. Like, Mike Trout's a great player, everybody. You've all forgotten about him.
Yeah,
nobody's putting him on their fantasy teams because now you can have angels on your team.
Right. St. Louis, they just got Gizmo from Gremlins. He's their new manager now. So, I mean, it's tough. He really only comes out for the night games, but he's still
but
really
he really
sharp.
shows up when he's there, you know.
I like that a lot.
I think, so, all right. My favorite movie is RoboCop. So in my, best world to happen would be RoboCop and Terminator. I think it would be a thing where, like, they think they're on opposite sides. The Terminator's maybe coming probably back in time to, like, fix something on some timeline. And the RoboCop is there just, like, trying to keep the streets safe. And they think they're on opposite teams until a large enemy shows up, maybe a Twister, and they join forces. And it would be just the best kick-ass action movie of all time.
Right. It's got everything that you want in a buddy cop pair-up where they're at opposite sides first, and then they learn they're not so different, you and I.
Right.
The only thing it lacks as a buddy cop is...
Personality?
like different personalities, not like, I'm here with this robot. Same.
Shall we kill?
Oh no, it's Twister and Jaws. What do we do?
Just a monotone through the entire film.
Is that a cow? Confirmed. That is a cow. Wow. I could see them, and like I really look forward to the fight between the two of them when they don't realize they're on the same team. That feels like it would be very, very fun.
You would need like one plucky person for like, conversation, but besides that,
right? You need some
film.
like modernized short round or some I don't know. Let's get 11 from Stranger Things. Millie Brown to just come out and be like, "You're both good robots." I'm like, wow, we could learn a lot from this kid.
That's perfect. I was just thinking, like, if I was going to cast it, who would I put in it? And there's nobody better for that than Millie Brown. Oh, that's so wonderful.
That's pretty great.
I'm also looking to get hired as a casting director, like whatever. Like I'm gonna. This
whatever
is just
jobs you got.
I'm just like throwing out some skills.
Yeah,
I
just
used to be a
post your
bartender.
resume below.
I'm just-
Post in the comments.
Yeah. We have some comment questions from Twitter. At Inside Jorb writes, "What would be the breaking point for superhero movies being consistent box office draws look like, and when do you think we'll reach that?" I really want that to be soon. I think it'll be like 10 years. I think like recently, Kevin Feige from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he's sort of their godfather, was talking about James Gunn's set to do Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and I think he's moving on to the next step of the Avengers, and the quote was something like, with what he's doing with Guardians and Avengers, the plans I've seen, lays out the next 10 years of this universe. And I don't see them pumping the brakes on that anytime soon.
Yeah.
So we've got a full decade of some version of the Marvel Universe, whether they reboot No More Iron Man, now it's Iron Heart, and a different Hulk. Whatever they're going to do, I feel like we're in for another decade of this.
Yeah, it's a lot. I feel like these things like ebb and flow, but it's been a long time in this superhero upswing, which I don't want to complain. I mean, I love superhero movies, but
I don't anymore. Like, I would take that hot take. I don't like superhero movies anymore. I'm sure Guardians of the Galaxy is fine. I haven't watched the most recent one, but the other one was very good. But man, the Avengers movies are just so pasty, and
pasty?
Like there's like nothing to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
yes.
And the DC ones, like when they tried to do with Batman versus Superman, was really rough. And I don't want those. I just tell me a finite story. Tell me a 90 or 120 minute story, and I'll be psyched. And I don't want it to just be build-ups for a story that's going to happen later.
That's where the peaks and the peaks and ebbs are going to be. Like the good one-off films are still going to perform well because a good movie is a good movie no matter what, superhero or not. But when we're going to have people are going to get bored, and they're going to get bored filming, and we're going to have a lot of Batman versus Supermans, and then it's going to tank.
Well, you have to lay the foundation in whatever. So like what they're doing right now with the every single one of those monster movies sounds like it's going to be an Ang Lee's The Hulk. Where it's like, I don't know if this is going to work for you.
I don't know.
But that's, like, the thing that we need, because there are two things that would drastically shake up the universe, in my opinion. One of them is people stop going to these movies, so there's no longer a financial incentive to spend $600 million on a Spider-Man movie. If that doesn't happen, we are pretty reliant on high-level creatives at Marvel to recognize that what they're putting out isn't as good as it could and should be, and then they turn to shake things up and go smaller. Like, I would be okay with ongoing superhero movies if we took more cues from Logan, where it's like, this is barely a superhero movie, and Wonder Woman, where she's got superpowers, but it's about women, it's about wonders, it's a World War movie, it's
more of a
exciting
war movie,
and
kind of.
it's a war movie, and she happens to be magic in it. Like, I'm excited about Black Panther. That's Ryan Coogler. We love him, and it's just a world that is very new for this current MCU that we've been breathing for 16 years or however long it's been going on. Like, if Kevin Feige and Marvel is like, you know what, let's shake things up. Everything doesn't need to be, the answer can't always be, this movie has 67 superheroes in it. Can you even f***ing believe that?
Right.
They just need to decide that they want to be more creatively fulfilled doing other things.
As long as they have smart people at the head who will know ahead of time when people are getting bored of something or they need to shake it up.
I mean, they haven't so far, and like it's ruined directors too. It's like Joss Whedon does not like doing the Avengers. I like him. I like the things that he makes. I like the things that he writes. But he's so bummed on this whole. He's soured on it.
Another question from Maddie Finney: why hasn't Cracked done any pieces on Rick and Morty? Thought that was odd.
It's so we stick to shows that have like. It's fun to find a show or a movie that's terrible and find ways through their own plot holes to make them sound great and to like dig into what's interesting about. Like, here's this piece that seems wrong, and you're like, why is that even in the movie? As opposed to just being like, look, a fucking plot hole, everybody. We like to dig into it and then think about, well, how does this thing make that whole universe better? I would argue that the Rick and Morty universe is perfect. So what are we going to say about it other than that?
That's true. It's a watch it. It's great.
It's easy and fun to be like, this thing that you liked is secretly terrible, or this thing that you thought sucked is secretly great if you pay attention to it this way. It's really hard to like celebrate something. It's
just celebrate it.
As a piece of content.
Well, we're not ever happy.
Piece of content form. Like when we're in the office, we're quoting Rick and Morty and talking about the episodes and doing our various fan theories and like pointing out the fun things. But I don't know. I don't want to just get up in front of a camera and gush about a thing that I like.
It's also not. There's no opportunity for us to be like, hey man, like what they created in this world with Unity, imagine this scenario. Because they've already played out the very best scenario with Unity. So like we'd just be doing the second version of that.
We can't add anything to it. We would just say, if you're not watching it, watch it. And if
Right.
you're watching it, it's great, right?
It's great. I have a friend who writes on it. That's why I can't talk about it, because I feel like I'm just...
Could your friend get us like,
Yeah,
get us a
hey,
job?
just post your resume in balloon.
Oh, I have to do a resume? I'm not interested anymore.
We got one more comment. Leo the guy. What do you think about the new Mummy and the whole Universal Monster franchise? I don't have an opinion on that.
See above?
Yeah.
No.
I have a lot to say.
I think that's just about our time. Maggie, thanks for joining us. Can anyone find you on Twitter and where?
They can. Yes, at Maggie, M-A-G-G-I-E, May, M-A-E, fish, like the animal. Someone tweeted that at me. Like the animal.
I do like the animal.
Yeah, right? They keep us alive.
It might have been just a command. Where they're like,
Yeah.
like the animal. Yeah, I'm Soren. You can find me on Twitter at SOREN_LTD. I'm a real hoot.
And I'm Daniel. I'll be here next week and the week after that, probably. And I guess these two will also. You can find me at DOB_INC. Use the hashtag EPCD if you want to say anything to us. And I won't check it until probably next Thursday when we're shooting this again.
Okay.
I'm working on my sign-off catchphrase.
It's I would say workshop it.
Okay, good enough. All right. Thanks again for joining me, guys. Thanks. And we'll see you next time. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for watching Excessive Pop Culture Discussion. Make sure you click the big C in the middle, and you will subscribe. Click either of the videos on the side of me, and you can see those videos. Click that dumb YouTube bell, and it'll tell you when we get new videos. And make sure you follow these fine folks on Twitter, and me as well. And finally, your dreams.
You hate that bell.